Imagine walking down the street and noticing a tattoo on someone's arm. At first glance, it appears to be just another design, artful, edgy, even stylish. However, what if I told you that this tattoo could mean more than just ink on skin? It might symbolize something much darker, something ancient, something satanic. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're uncovering 7 tattoos with hidden satanic meanings, symbols that seem harmless, but whose origins trace back to the shadows. The truth might just shock you. Have you ever pondered why some celebrities, musicians, and influencers choose specific tattoos? Are they purely for aesthetic purposes, or is there a hidden message? Could your favorite tattoo secretly represent a connection to occult forces? In this video, we delve into the hidden stories behind these symbols, exploring their origins, spiritual implications, and what biblical texts caution against when it comes to such imagery. This isn't merely about superstition. It's about spiritual awareness, because what you adorn your skin with can influence what enters your life. Some of these symbols serve as more than mere decoration. They act as gateways to spiritual deception. Tattoos have been part of human culture for centuries, used to narrate stories, signify status, and express beliefs. But not every piece of ink carries a positive meaning. Some symbols have dark occult roots connected to practices that invoke, honor, or communicate with demonic powers. The Bible repeatedly warns us of the spiritual battle around us. Ephesians 6:12 states, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." These tattoos are not merely art. They are part of this unseen battle. They are symbols carefully chosen, possessing power beyond their visual allure. Today, we're going to unmask the tattoos most commonly used to subtly worship or align with satanic forces. By the end of this video, you'll perceive tattoos in an entirely different light. You'll grasp that every mark on the body has potential spiritual significance, and some can be perilous. Let's start with Tattoo 1, the inverted cross. Known as one of the most infamous symbols linked with Satanism, the inverted cross's origins are often misunderstood. Historically, it was known as the Cross of St. Peter. According to tradition, the Apostle Peter requested to be crucified upside down because he felt unworthy to die the same way as Jesus, making it a symbol of humility and devotion. However, in contemporary culture, its meaning has drastically shifted. Movies, heavy metal music, and Gothic fashion have embraced the upside-down cross as a sign of rebellion, often opposing God outright. When displayed in media or ink today, it rarely signifies humility. It is a symbol used by individuals who wish to align themselves with darkness, or at least to give that appearance. The Bible warns against symbols honoring false gods or opposing divine authority. Even if someone wears the inverted cross merely for its aesthetic, engaging with symbols of opposition to Christ can open the door to spiritual deception. 1 Corinthians 10:21 reminds us, "You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. You cannot partake of the table of the Lord and the table of demons." A tattoo that seems innocent might spiritually endanger the bearer by representing defiance against God's authority. If you look around pop culture, many musicians, especially in the metal and rock genres, prominently display inverted crosses on album covers, during stage performances, and even as personal tattoos. While some claim it's for shock value, the symbolism remains unmistakable. Even in street fashion, smaller iterations of the inverted cross appear on clothing, jewelry, and simple tattoos. To the unaware, it might seem like a trendy design, but the history and intent behind the symbol should not be ignored. From a biblical standpoint, wearing or glorifying symbols of opposition to God can, even unconsciously, align the wearer with rebellion. Proverbs 4:23 states, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Every tattoo acts as a message to oneself, to others, and within the spiritual realm. Historically and spiritually, the inverted cross communicates defiance against God. And it's just the beginning, as some tattoos delve even deeper, embedding occult symbols subtly enough that most wouldn't recognize them. Next, we'll explore tattoo to the figure of the goat or Baphomet, an icon of darkness recognized globally. Its origins and why it captivates millions around the world are complex. Typically depicted with the head of a goat, often seated with wings and a pentagram, Baphomet's roots are shrouded in mystery. The term first appeared in the 14th century during the trials of the Knights Templar, who were accused of worshipping an idol with a goat-like visage. The imagery evolved over time, and in the 19th century, occultist Eliphas Levi popularized the goat-headed deity we recognize today. Now, Baphomet is frequently associated with satanic rituals, the occult, and rebellion against divine order. It's a symbol adopted by those wishing to declare allegiance to darkness or reject traditional Christian values. Idolatry's dangers are clearly pointed out in the Bible. Deuteronomy 1:8-1012 warns against practices like divination and necromancy, labeling such acts as abominations. Tattooing a Baphomet symbol goes beyond artistic expression. It signifies a connection to forces opposing divine will. Whether worn casually or for aesthetics, these symbols carry spiritual weight. Look at modern culture, including music, fashion, and social media. Baphomet imagery is prevalent in album art, clothing lines, and tattoos, often as statements of rebellion or misunderstood freedom, though the spiritual reality behind such symbols is profound. The goat represents rebellion, sin, and the presence of evil. Displaying it can subtly invite spiritual consequences, regardless of the wearer's understanding. Yet the goat isn't alone in hiding evil in plain sight. There's a number, perhaps the most infamous in all of Scripture, that has inspired fear for centuries. Tattoo 3 embodies this number, 666, cited in Revelation 13:18. This number represents the mark of the beast, denoting allegiance to Satan and opposition to God. More than a set of digits, it's emblematic of spiritual bondage, deception, and the ultimate rebellion against the Creator. You'll be surprised by how subtly 666 can be incorporated into tattoos. It's not always obvious, often hidden within artistic designs or numeric codes that resemble 3 sixes. In pop culture, this number finds its way into tattoos and designs of famous bands, influencers, and even fashion brands, often disguised with no apparent link. However, its spiritual meaning is unchanged. While some may flaunt it only as a badge of rebellion or edgy individuality, its spiritual resonance remains undeniable. Numbers, particularly in spiritual contexts, bear significance. What you choose to put on your body communicates a spiritual message, whether consciously or not. The Bible repeatedly warns against symbols of evil. Tattoos featuring 666 transcend art and declaration. Romans 16:19 advises, "Be wise concerning evil, but innocent concerning good." Bearing this mark, intentionally or unknowingly, poses spiritual danger. We've spotlighted the inverted cross, the goat, and 666 each, concealing darkness in plain view. Yet some symbols are more deceptive than others. They appear beautiful, geometric, harmless, but beneath the surface, they're designed to channel spiritual influence. Enter Tattoo 6, demonic or mythological figures. Among the most striking tattoos are those of creatures or figures, dragons, demons, mythological beings, that at first glance showcase artistry and imagination. But behind the facade lies a dark history. Throughout ages, demons have been depicted in art, literature, and rituals. Tattoos of such figures serve as aesthetic or symbolic representations of evil forces. The imagery can attract spiritual attention, acting as a subtle invitation to negative entities. Consider tattoos of demons from medieval or Eastern traditions, often used in protective rituals, but when inverted or given a modern occult twist, they become emblems of alignment with darkness. The Bible warns against engaging with demonic forces. 1 Peter 5-8 informs us, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour." Even for aesthetic purposes, tattooing demon imagery invites unseen influences. Modern culture, with celebrities and tattoo aficionados, frequently embraces these designs. Large, intricate tattoos featuring dragons, horned creatures, or grotesque demons transcend artistic fantasy. While some view them merely as creative expression, their spiritual implications are unquestionable. Even small tattoos carry meaning. What seems harmless can act as a conduit for influence, especially if the wearer is ignorant of its historical and spiritual context. The most deceptive tattoos often appear benign: geometric patterns, abstract shapes, floral designs. Tattoo 7 is concerned with hidden satanic messages in popular designs. Many seemingly innocent tattoos originate from occult, satanic, or mystical traditions, subtly attracting spiritual energy. These messages crop up in popular culture, from band logos to fashion trends, where many unknowingly adopt them, mistaking them for style statements without grasping the deeper spiritual significance. In pop culture, band logos often integrate occult symbols subtly, while fashion trends favor triangles, overlapping circles, or stylized animals, all rooted in mystical traditions with dark histories. Even minimalist tattoos, abstract designs, or tribal patterns can carry hidden meanings understood only by occultists. Romans 16:19 advises discernment, warning that mere appearance doesn't negate spiritual consequence. Hidden symbols may seem trendy, but their origins often involve deception or rebellion against God. Awareness is key. Even if drawn to a design aesthetically, researching the symbol's origin is crucial. Spiritual discernment shields from unintentionally opening doors to darkness. Many individuals unknowingly carry symbols that communicate allegiance to forces counter to divine order. Tattoos, while visually appealing, are not spiritually neutral. They convey intent and alignment, with or without the bearer's realization. Having exposed 7 tattoos whose meanings are darker than many realize, from the inverted cross to hidden symbols in common designs, you may never view body art the same way. The question now is, what does this mean for believers, the spiritually aware, and anyone contemplating tattoos today? In our conclusion, we'll sum up these symbols, delve into their spiritual implications, and explain how to guard against inadvertently participating in darkness. We've unveiled tattoos like the inverted cross, Baphomet 666, pentagrams, occult geometric patterns, demonic figures, and concealed satanic symbols in popular designs. They're not merely ink. They're signals, sometimes invitations, to spiritual forces against divine authority. This reality may be unsettling, but clarity brings awareness. In a world focused on aesthetics, many unknowingly wear spiritual statements where art masks intent, energy, and meaning beyond human comprehension. The Bible calls for discernment. Ephesians 6:11 advises, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can stand against the devil's schemes." Tattoos, especially those rooted in darkness, are part of this subtle battlefield. What one displays on their body reflects alignment, consciously or not. This isn't about fear, but awareness. Understanding these symbols empowers believers to shield themselves and make informed choices.